Here's how 2/3 of Americans have used their stimulus checks. Those 1,400 stimulus checks that started hitting mailboxes in March have proven valuable to people overwhelmed by debt. A study from Bill Paying Service Doxo finds that 62% of stimulus checks are being used to pay bills, with a significant portion of the earmarked for credit card debt. Since the start of the pandemic, says Doxo, 42% of Americans have skipped paying at least one bill. Interesting. 42% of Americans have skipped paying one bill. The Doxo number fall in line with the data from U.S. Census Bureau Household Pulse survey. In March, a study from that group showed the majority of stimulus checks recipients planned to use the money on food and utilities as household budgets remained stretched during the pandemic. A study of 110 million people who reported receiving stimulus checks taken between February 17, and March 1st showed debt reduction and household expenses as the top priorities. Adam, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. I actually love this story. So I think the number is 90% of Americans are receiving some form of stimulus.
I didn't get a check, though.
Well, if you make over $75,000, which I assume you do, Pat. I know you've had some up and down years, but if you make under $75,000 or less, you'll get $1,400. It get phases out, I believe, at $80,000. Like if you make $78,000 as an example, you might get a check for like $800. But then it starts to phase out. If you're married, you get if you have a household income, if you're married, if you're under $150,000, you'll get the full $2,800. And if you have dependents, they're each getting. So, I went down to South Beach and I was interviewing a lot of people down there, what they did with the
phenomenal,
check.
by the way.
Thank you.
Hilarious.
Check it out on Valuetainment Economics, amazing interview. One girl, I said, oh, how much did you get? $1,400? She goes, no, $4,200. I go, wow, that's amazing. You're married, kids, dependents, all that. I go, how much did you spend to be here? $4,200. I go, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? So there's a lot of those kind of interviews down there in South Beach. But here's why I love this story so much. 2/3 of Americans have used their stimulus check to pay off debt. So, I have my 6 principles of wealth philosophy. And number 1 is having a game plan for your money, which is a budget. What's your income, what's your expenses, and all that. And then I say number 2 is before you can win the money game, don't lose. And what's losing? Losing is debt. So debt is your money going backwards. So the average interest rate on a credit card is 16% in America. The average credit card amount in debt is $6,000. So if you're getting $1,400 check or even a $4,200 check, the best return on your investment might be to pay down that 16% interest rate, or in some cases 24, 25% interest rate. Or if you have a payday loan, it might be 400 or 500%. Get the F out of debt before you can start saving and start investing. I know there's other stories out there that, Tom, I'll hand it over to you. People that don't have debt are actually pumping their money right into the stock market, into Robinhood, and becoming investors. So here's my last point. 80% of Americans have debt. 80% of Americans have some form of debt. Only 55% of Americans are actually investing in the stock market. So your goal should be to have a game plan for your money, get the F out of debt, start to save that money so you can start investing. So I applaud these people that actually paid off their debt with that
Good
stimulus.
for them. Good for them. Tom, what do you think?
Well, I think Americans are behaving responsibly, and I think it's great. You basically got them paying for, they're saying, hey, we're spending this on core living, household expenses and food, core living, and I'm also knocking down some debt that I had. I think that's a very responsible thing to do. Now, does that bring back Main Street? Does that bring back restaurants and entertainment in towns and cities? No, not yet. But I think for the average American, for inside the household, I think it's very good. But is it bringing back, the life to the cities? And never mind spring break. Never mind what's going on, South Texas or South Florida. What I'm talking about is casual entertainment in any town USA, going out to do something, going out to dinner. Restaurants are just now open. So that's not getting a lot of support, but I think it's really good news that Americans are doing this because I think it makes it, you don't want all the Americans stressed. That's true. And I think this is a very good thing. Flip side, the single Americans, you met one. I don't think that was the terribly responsible answer she gave. But also, you had millennials that were single saying, hey, thanks for the stimulus. I'm going to go buy some crypto, and I have my Coinbase account, and I'm going to go buy some NFTs, some interesting things, some music clips that I like. I'm like, that's that's a great story for national media because it's like the, oh my gosh, kind of angle to the headline.
Wait, so you're saying not a good idea to take your stimulus to go buy NFTs?
No, I don't think so. If somebody said, hey, I put it in my, I maxed out my annual limit for my 401k and bought some more stock in some mutual or something.
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's a savings plan. But when you hear like hey, I'm just going to gamble with it. If I lose it, I lose it.
So what do you think about NFTs? What do you think about NFTs?
I think this is a new collectible that's here to stay, but I'm saying that those millennials that took the stimulus check and the first thing they did was basically gamble, higher risk. I don't think that's too smart, but I love what American families and households did with the stimulus.
People trying to get rich quick is what you're saying.
Well,
so what did you do with your stimulus check?
What's a stimulus check?
You're so funny. So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.